My helpers are being a little anxious tonight. If you can hear the breathing, that's because Gracie is at my knees here in the kitchen. So this video is going to be a little different than everything else I've posted thus far, and I'm hoping to make this a regular feature. This is, I'm just going to call it a vlog, right? Sort of to talk to you. I'm hoping to do this once a week. Today I want to talk about a topic that impacts me and a lot of other people, and that's having celiac disease. When I was first diagnosed with this, it was really difficult to find people who not only took gluten-free eating seriously, but kind of even knew it was a thing. And what happened is that celebrities and other people who wanted to do it as a health fad kind of helped the cause move along a bit. But consequently, because of that, people like me who genuinely do get ill with the presence of wheat proteins kind of suffered, because people thought, oh, well, it's not that serious. We'll just pick this off because of Gwyneth Paltrow shoved something, wherever. But it's real. And the biggest problem that I run into is cross-contamination. Now, a lot of people don't understand what that means. So, cross-contamination basically means that if you cook something in a vessel, an oven, a pan, or a fryer, for example, that is made with regular whole wheat flour or wheat flour, it leaves behind a residue, and those proteins don't really break down. So when you cook something in that same vessel, those wheat proteins can come again and hurt someone like me and make me sick. One of the worst episodes I ever had, I was at a restaurant that I've gone to God knows how many times, and I had a salad that, you think a salad is safe, it's just vegetables. Well, when they made this salad for the table, they had put a bunch of croutons in it. I had, of course, asked for mine, croutons. Well, what happened was the person who made it wasn't the regular cook, so they picked the croutons out, and I had one tiny little fleck of crouton left in my salad. Needless to say, I ended up in the emergency room. So when someone tells you something is quote-unquote gluten-free, you have, especially if you're someone like me, you have to make sure you ask the proper questions. I'm generally terrible at that. I forget all the time. My wife is great at it, though, and she usually corrects me and helps me out when I forgot to ask. But the biggest thing is knowing that just the tiniest little bit, less than 10 parts per million, can hurt someone with celiac disease, like myself. Now, there's a lot of things out there, a lot of products that say, oh, we're gluten-free, or we're, gluten sensitive. But they're really not, because if you look at the packaging, it will say processed in a plant that also processes soy, or wheat, or peanuts, or, whatever there is. You should steer clear of that. If you see, on the other hand, if you see a package that has a circle with a little GF in the middle of it, that is certified gluten-free. For example, I have these cake mixes here and some other flour products that are certified. So if you look for this, see that little GF right there? That means you're safe. And for someone like me, discovering that certification changed my entire life, because I knew that I could eat things without worry, or without having to fear being sick. Now I want to move on to something. As someone who's moving into the professional culinary world, I want to talk about gluten-free food preparation. Recently, I saw a video online of a website I subscribe to, Epicurious, and they did an onion rings episode. And one of the chefs, who was an actual professional chef and a culinary instructor, said his onion rings were gluten-free. Well, they weren't. Yes, he used rice flour, and rice, by the way, is gluten-free. But he used rice flour, but then he put a bottle of beer into the flour. onion rings. And yes, that's Gracie and Brody. You guys good? Yes, they sometimes, we have some people across the street that they obviously don't think that they should be allowed in their own house, so that gets entertaining sometimes. Anyway, so he dumped a bottle of beer in his batter recipe, and then the website, and they had a food scientist on the website, or on the video, and the food scientist didn't even correct him. And I remember writing a comment on this video saying, "What is wrong with you? This is going to get a lot of people sick." And the Epicurious' comment was, "Oh, just follow the soda water option." Do you know how long the soda water option was mentioned in that video? It was like 3 seconds and a little blurb. That's not adequate. And I think people still don't understand how sick someone like me can get with even the tiniest bit of cross-contamination or lack of attention to detail, especially when cleaning things up. You got to make sure the kitchen is spotless, and regular wheat flour products just don't touch your station or your appetizer or get commingled with anything else, even finished baked products, because someone like me, I can handle that stuff, and if I handle enough of it, I'll get a rash, I'll get sick. It's not pleasant. And I know there's a lot of more important things going on in the world right now with our global pandemic, but this is something that people like me have to deal with every day of their lives. And quite honestly, it can be very limiting, and not just when it comes to bread products, but to any kind of food. Because you can't be certain unless you know the chef, or you eat there all the time and they understand your particular proclivities, or you make it yourself, that they took the proper precautions. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to do a couple videos on gluten-free baking and just gluten-free cooking. And I want to make sure that you know everything on this channel is 100% safe for any celiac to eat, because I do, and I make it myself. So any recipe you've ever read or anything you watch me do, if you have a celiac in your life, point them here, and I'll help them out. That's really kind of all I want to talk about tonight. I hope this is a regular feature. I think this is something that might be interesting just to kind of see everybody at home. And, oh, yeah, these are from the orchard that's behind our house. It's very nice. So, big bowl of apples there that were not in the last couple of videos. I'd like, last thing here, I want to go over a programming schedule. So, the idea for this channel is primarily instructional. So, what I'm thinking is Fridays and Saturdays for full instructional videos, because that's when people really would have time to watch them. And say Wednesdays for the quickie videos that I do, just 5 minutes, 6 minutes here and there. And again, everything I do is in real time. So if it's a quickie video, that's literally how long it took me to make that. And then on Thursdays, or every other Thursday, I'll do something like this, sort of an introduction, or just kind of a talk. And I think that would be a good format if I can churn out enough. So I hope I've answered a few questions for you tonight, or whenever you may be watching this, as to how this all sort of works with someone like me with my particular immunodeficiency. And if you have someone in your life that genuinely suffers from the same issue, celiacfoundation.org is a wonderful, wonderful resource, and they do a lot of work to help people like me. Because the shorthand version is it's an intolerance to gluten or proteins, but there's actually a lot more going on than that with celiac as itself. Your body effectively attacks itself. And it's because it's an autoimmune disease. And when you have something like that, when you're immunocompromised, it's sometimes very difficult to explain to people who haven't been in that situation what that makes you feel like. Or when you get sick, you can't do anything. People go, oh, it's just a stomach ache. It isn't. For example, when I get really sick, my stomach literally goes out to here and I look like I'm 9 months pregnant. It would be funny if it didn't hurt so bad. So, again, celiacfoundation.org, they do wonderful work, and I thank you for watching this video and listening, and stay tuned, because again, everything I make is safe to eat for anyone.